Hiya and welcome back to the Mavis Amankwah YouTube channel. You're joined by me, Chloe, the host, and by Mavis Amankwah herself.
Hey!
Hiya, and we've got a few questions to ask you for your 21st year in business.
Okay.
So let's start off. How do you feel? What sort of emotions and thoughts come to mind when you think about being in business for 21 years?
Wow, it's mixed emotions if I be honest. It's kind of like happy, like yay! And at the same time a bit emotional because some things have happened along the way, so you kind of look back and you reflect. But overall I'm really excited and really happy to have got so far.
Oh, good. So what would you say has been your biggest achievement so far?
Chloe, the fact that I'm talking to you today, I think that's been my biggest achievement because I've seen a lot of businesses that started the same time as me and they're no longer here. And being able to do this, you know, on 2 decades, run family and also be able to adapt to changes with things like technology, the climate, recessions and things like that. I think that's been, you know, I think it's more than one achievement. I think it's many achievements on that note.
What about your biggest challenge though?
Challenges, I've had loads. I've had loads of different challenges. As I say to lots of people, business is like a roller coaster. You get on the ride and you're expecting it to go one way, and then all of a sudden, without no warning, it's going a different direction. I've had a lot of challenges that have really kind of taken me to a very dark place. You know, even just things like losing contracts, losing staff, not being able to work with maybe some of the clients that I wanted to work with, and just, you know, kind of sometimes everyday things that happen, you know, in life and in business that can literally kind of give you that mindset of thinking, this is not for me, let me give up. But then something just pushes me and say, no, you can't, you've come too far, keep going.
What advice would you give to someone who's a young entrepreneur wanting to start out?
I would say get yourself a mentor really early. Watch the cash flow, because the cash flow is the key, the king, the queen, and the, you know, prince and princess. And I always say that to people. And be able to adapt, because for me, 21 years in business is a long time, but it comes very quickly. But you have to be able to understand the market and what's trending. You know, and I think that's really important. So I would say cash flow, what's trending, get yourself a mentor, and just have a plan all the time and be ready for any kind of, you know, changes, sudden changes.
Yeah, that's really useful to know, to be honest, for all the young people watching. So what have you got planned for the next 21 years in business?
Well, in 21 years' time, if I work up my age now, I will be 68. So by that time, hopefully I'm fully retired, looking after my many, maybe grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So in the next 21 years, it would be about retiring nicely. But I think before then, it will be about just helping others over the next 10 years while I'm still fit and healthy. I would love to help loads of people in business, young people, women in business. I'd like to be able to go and, you know, share my story of business across the world, not just here in the UK, and give people that encouragement and inspiration to say, you can do this and you should never give up.
Okay, so what do you have a main goal for the next few years then that you want to achieve?
I have so many goals, but I think one of my main goals, or shall I say aspirations or dreams, is to get onto a program like the Dragon's Den. Not for money, but to literally be a dragon. So have my money on the table and then, you know, people coming in and go, right, you're, you know, I really want to work with you, or no, I don't. But have that opportunity, because I've never seen a black woman in the Dragon's Den before. I know recently they've had two black men that's been on there, which is really great. But I think it would be nice to have someone like me on there. So I'm a work in progress, and I always say when I grow older. So that's something I'm trying to work on in the future.
I would love to see you on that. I think you'd make a good addition to it. Yeah, definitely.
I'm really excited. Or something on those lines. You know, I think when you look at women in business, you don't really see a lot of role models and stuff. So I think I would love to be that role model on something like that program.
So you talk about role models. Who are your role models then?
I have loads of role models. Anyone from Steve Jobs to Warren Buffett to Peter Jones, loads of Richard Branson. I have loads of role models, and I have a lot of role models within my community, within the business arena. And people like my family, you know, my husband's my role model, you know, my mum's my role model from a kind of personal perspective. But within business, there are lots of people that I've worked with over the years who I still work with that inspire me, that encourage me maybe when times are hard, that uplift me, and at the same time we support each other to grow. So loads of role models, which keeps me smiling.
That's good. So obviously you run the Kickstarter scheme. Why do you think it's important to help young people into business?
I think with young people, they have a lot of energy. And I think it's gone off the days where our mums and dads, I mean, where they would work 1 or 2 jobs. That can't really happen. We don't really have that type of kind of energy anymore to work 2 or 3 jobs. But I think when it comes to young people, they have this innovation and creativity within themselves. So they could do, say, a 9-to-5 job and they've got a side hustle, or they're doing something, whether it's, you know, TikTok or doing something online like yourself. And I think that they just need that encouragement that they can do it, and they are more of risk takers, and they're young. So, you know, they can basically try something out, see how it goes. But I think it's really important for the next generation, because as people, you know, when you go to school, you are educated to become a doctor, lawyer, you know, those kind of like standard, or not standard, but the kind of common careers that people know, but you never really taught how to be a business person or get into entrepreneurship or anything like that. So I want to basically help to kind of fill that gap and encourage and inspire young people.
Yeah, well, it's worked for me. So.
Good to hear.
I know every week's not the same for you, but talk us through a typical week for Mavis Amankwah.
Yeah, it's very random, to be honest. No week's ever the same, but my kind of daily routine is just waking up in the morning, just, you know, I'm very spiritual, so I do, you know, my prayers and things like that. Then I basically kind of get myself together about what I'm doing from the day before. Obviously, I've got really big kids now, so it's no more school runs or anything like that. It's just all about me getting myself ready. But I always like to still be in touch with my family and my friends. So when I'm not at work, I get in touch a lot with my family and friends and my mum. But really the typical day, it starts from about 5 a.m. It can go on probably to about 10 in the evening.
Wow.
And it's kind of non-stop. So it's really interesting because I have 3 phones. So sometimes I could get all 3 phones ringing at the same time. And then some days it could be really busy where I have lots of meetings and just meeting people back to back. And then some days it's just about paperwork, just sitting down and going through paperwork documents, writing proposals, forward planning, business development. So it's very, there's no routine, but I try to kind of do the same thing as much as I can each week to make sure I cover off everything. And, you know, business is like a cycle. So it's like just working, all right, that one's working, that one's not working. And, you know, and you need that cycle to keep going. So, you know, no day is typically the same, but there's lots going on. And it's all very positive, actually. And it gives me a boost.
Oh, good. So to finish off, do you have any words of wisdom or advice just to finish off the video with, to give our audience?
What would I say? I would say anyone that wants to really take their business forward, or they want to move forward in their career, I would say be yourself. I think that's really important. Be yourself and appreciate who you are. You need to forget about that small voice that tells you that you can't, because you can. You know, the can voice should be much louder than that I can't voice. Be prepared for things that may happen along the way, including failures, because they can happen. And also get yourself some form of mentor or coach or someone that can help you and support you through times when it does feel really hard, because, you know, if you want to lose weight or you want to keep fit, you normally will take on a personal trainer, and that personal trainer will really work you till you get to your goal. So I just basically would say for yourself, whether it's business or your career, you know, get somebody who can support you and encourage you and inspire you to take yourself to another level. And, you know, they talk about glass ceilings. If there is a glass ceiling, smash that glass ceiling. You can do it.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us today. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.